Hey there, beloved Ascension pioneers. Welcome to another session with me, Paluna, right back in my woods, away from my beloved mountains, while I return home from a 2-day mountain trip, whatever it was, a retreat, however you may consider it. The fact being, I'm back. I'm back in my nature space here in the woods, and I was guided to record something on twin souls and volunteer souls. Why? Let me explain. First of all, let me start how this got triggered. I was sitting in my sleeping hammock, in my sleeping bag actually, when I was staying in the mountains, and I was just guided before I went on my trip to take Dolores Cannon's book about 3 waves of volunteers and the New Earth. I said, wow, I didn't read this for many months. I didn't read anything at all. So just guided, I took it with me, and I read some of the stories there. And the moment that I do that, I tune my energies to the free flow of what it is like to be a volunteer, and other people sharing their own stories and how it is for them. And there are these higher light councils speaking through them, and these higher light beings. And what I always feel is this instant shifting back to my source self, and to feel that inner state of peace. I've been thinking about then how often we romanticize things, how often we wish for partners in our lives and things like that. And oftentimes people are feeling lonely, and of course they also ask me a lot of questions about twin souls. But the more that I come into my essence of understanding this, as I do myself, is the same that I was reading in this book. When you are a volunteer soul, and that's why this video is focused on twin souls and volunteer souls, and twin souls as volunteer souls, the main purpose will always be about your service. And how I've said it frequently, and how it is also shared in the book, the main priority of volunteer souls is to come here serving as a conduit of light, pillar of light, gatekeeper, whatever you name it. Serve only through the vibration. So it's the energy frequency that is actually doing the work through them, through us. And a lot of times people feel miserable because they don't feel they're doing enough. So they want more purpose, they want more action, they want to do something specific, which is okay, but it's just a tiny part of it. And why I want to associate this with the twin souls as well is because so many times when we forget that our first purpose here as volunteer souls is to hold this space, and that the primary focus will always be on the purpose. And the mission is the purpose, which means who you are, your unique energetic signature. So when you shift to that knowing, you will feel that all these things that we desire, that we long from our ego, which is not the same as the higher soul awareness, but the higher self understanding, which knows and remembers union and unity, how it is with the beloved, and the beloved all around us, how it is reflected within us. So when we remember this state, we can feel this sensation of peace instantly. And sometimes it's not easy for volunteer souls, because it was the same with me in my life. I was alone quite often. There are people coming in my life as teachers as how to live earthly life, how it is to be rooted on earth, because I needed a lot of those experiences, because this reality is very dense for me, and I didn't understand it quite often, in the lower imprinted emotions that are distorted, so to say. And so what people do when they forget, and I am basing this video to be an understanding for twin souls and for those who are here to volunteer, to raise the frequency, is to have this knowing that the beloved energy always lives within you. It helps you to remember better who you are, and to be of this service through only your divine remembrance, but in a way that we used to do it when we wanted a partner in our lives, and we said we need it because we can't do things otherwise. Well, I know so many of amazing light teachers which are only sharing their own experiences and not teaching or forcing anything, and they're actually single as of now. But what I want to say here is, when you are truly activated into your soul purpose, meaning that you remember that you're a volunteer, you don't just, like, for example, people go to Dolores to have these therapies when they get under hypnosis, and they share through their subconscious and superconscious and the light beings that are guiding them the true basis of why they're here. And then when they remember, they can start a healing and activation process. It's the same with the twin soul, you see. We all who have this high remembrance, who come from this higher state of existence, we already remember it. We just came here and to lower our frequency to serve from this realm physically. This was our decree. We said, yes, we want to serve in this way. We want to be a part of the world, not associate ourselves with it, but be in it, not of it. And we chose to come to be in it. But what was happening, because of this deep longing for the merge, that is always there, because your twin merge is always there, whether you go through this journey alone or not. But you're never alone anyway. That is a fallacy to say, because we're in unity, and there's not just other humans and other animals and planets. It's like so spread out to the universal level, and to all levels that are accompanied, that are encompassed in it and beyond. But what is important to understand here, it's so hard for me, to express this, how it should come in through physical words, because it's just a deep knowing. And a lot of times we confuse this deep understanding of this unity for this desire to merge with a certain individual. And then we forget about the purpose. So oftentimes even the volunteer souls have been having these experiences with other people too, when they constantly were showing them, it's about you, it's about your path, it's about you. And every single time these experiences came out to be something less than expected, because it's not a point of expectation anyway. When we forget about service, when we are straying off our true node, our true north node, which is our soul purpose, our destiny, is our direction, when we're aligned with our soul self, then there'll always be these experiences that will show us or reflect us back that, hey, it's about your unique purpose. That's why you're here, your volunteer soul. Don't compare yourself to others. Like a lot of times we've seen other people who are in physical relationships. We said, aw, they have this, why don't I have it? And the moment we do that, and when we try to compare ourselves, we already fall in our vibration. That means we forget for a while who we truly are and why we are here, because our soul signatures are different. Our unique journeys are different. We're part of this unity field. But we come from different fragments of a variation of creation, and we come with these different assignments which are just different. And there's a lot of earthbound souls here, and they are choosing different experiences. For example, when I'm looking at couples sometimes, it's just, I don't even know why they're together. Sometimes they're so different. Sometimes some person feels energetically aligned with something and the other person's like total opposite. And that they desire this experience. But for a volunteer soul, this is not needed, and the moment we think it's needed and we go into it, we will get the instant reflection back. And sometimes this will come as challenges, because you won't be aligned. You'll be focusing on the romantic part or the fun part. I want to have some fun, instead of your real, true source self, which is be here, reverberate out your amazing, unique signature of light, because this is why you came here. I'm always serving as a conduit of divine remembrance for myself, and then therefore throughout for others. And I can only do this much. I cannot tell people whether they will meet their partners or not. Many psychics do that. And I'm always saying, stay away as much as you can from the psychic energy, because it's just reading the lower astral levels, usually, in most cases. Because the word psychic in the old, that's what it means. And the fourth dimensional, how to say, structure actually is in the system of collapsing. So a lot of things for us who are in the path of physical ascension won't work anymore. The moment someone tried to sell something for me, like advice or something coming from the levels I really didn't associate with, it was just I had 2 people until now do twin soul paintings for me, but something never felt right. So recently what I did is I burned them both. I'm really sorry to say this, but in factual fact, it might sound horrible, horrific, but it's not, because I said I'm releasing this. Fire is transformation, it's releasing. And the moment we get attached to things or gifts, it's just we need to listen to our heart. And my heart said, this is not my energy. This is people projecting something that is their viewing, but it's not my energy. So that's what I did to free myself. And every time when I go about my own ascension journey, I choose to free myself even more, meaning that I'm just desiring to be in my soul unity. So following my own unity path, going into this transcendence and forgetting about all that is lower of nature, because in my life I've seen that if I went through the ego desires, I ended up being hurt or things not going my way. Because in volunteer souls you always have 2 concepts. Even though you might sometimes before you've been listening to the ego, but you also have this higher voice that said, no, this is how it's supposed to be like. And then when you mix the two of them together, that's when you have challenges, because you know it's supposed to be a certain way, and then when it's not that way, you will feel it. That's why there will be these disappointments and the lack of the expectations that are, not just ego expectations, but what you feel is the highest path, to take the higher road. So the thing is here, what I want to say about the nature of twin souls, why certain people are rather choosing to be alone. And I was just, when I was hiking this 2 days, I was thinking about this and how to interpret this, into words. And it was so easy, every relationship in our life right now was to serve us as a trigger point to activate us into deeper and deeper understanding and knowing ourselves as our soul, and feeling and encompassing the wholeness of our soul. So the unity, not just the unity with the all, with the whole, but the unity with our own soul. There is no one thing without the other. So when we were doing that, we were encountering a lot of different people. Sometimes we wanted them to be our romantic partner. Sometimes that didn't work out. Sometimes, it did for a certain period of time. People come into your life for a reason, season, and a lifetime. So the thing was that I had this instant knowing that, of course, the moment you really are in unity with your soul, you have all your facets, all your fragments, everything here back into your being when you're embodying as your soul, you have no more lack of it. You have full understanding and knowing yourself as your soul, so therefore embodying it. So therefore you don't need anything, external to show you, this is a fragment of your soul. Certain person comes in your life to teach you about this, to show you about this, to trigger and activate a divine remembrance about something. And therefore, things are always in our life when they're needed. If we transcend them, they're no longer needed. So it was natural to me, because my sister in light said to me once, I know my twin soul. I know that they're not here in the physical with me now. And I cherish this, I honor it, but I also choose that I won't have anyone other but them as a physical partner, as a true unique counterpart and a vibrational match, and of course someone who is how to say this? They're like really aligned with you. They're in complete alignment. They can be totally in unity with you. Vibrational match. It's I can't describe it with words. It's just what it is. It's just natural. It's a complete partner matching vibration for you. So when you know that that's not there for you in physical, when you feel it intuitively, because a lot of people want there from the ego. Everybody wants their twin soul to be here. That's why everybody will create this series of challenges. That they need to, go along this road to maybe one day realize, hey, be neutral, be discerning. Don't see everything from the eyes of the ego. Like, for example, when a certain reader or psychic reader will say, oh, yes, you will meet this person on that day, and it will be your this and that kind of relationship. And the moment you will believe it, you'll feel, elevate about it. Ask yourself and your soul, of course, what this elevation is truly about. Where is it coming from? Is it because you fed your ego and you like it this way? Or is it really coming from the neutrality of your soul? Because soul is neutral. Soul doesn't have this, yes, I want it. If it's there, soul already knows and it feels. It doesn't know the exact timing because, like I said, things need to be also coming in as a surprise. But they need to be aligned with our service self, not with our ego desire self. We can merge the two, So when my sister of light said to me once, I want anyone else but my exact equal. That was the word I was searching for before and I couldn't. The equal, your exact equal. He said, I only can have that. And yesterday when I was hiking, this thought occurred to me naturally, because when you're fully in your soul, totally in your soul wholeness, you won't need those other reflections anymore. You don't need someone anymore to show you what you're not, because you already know you're not. You've seen the contrast, you've been there, done that, check. Then of course on that level of awareness, when you're in full unity with your soul, there's no one else but your twin soul. Whether they come into physical or not, whether you can have that physical embodiment together with a divine partner in a sacred relationship or not. And that's it. So it's very simple. We should always, as volunteer souls, focus on the purpose. Focus on the purpose. That's what I always do. If I don't live a purposeful life, if I don't create, because the creative energy is what gets us to connect with that higher level of ourselves and our higher self. This is what gets us to that devotion and the process that is, when we're integrating this into our service self, into the way we put our energy out there. You know, how we serve through the things we do is just how we put energy out there, but we put it out anyway. Yeah, my Lord of the Rings pendant, you know, the Star of Harwin. Yeah. So it's just when we come into this feeling space, it's really natural to us. And this, like I would say, this relationship, this reunion is just so natural to us. It's like your best buddy. Like you, when you're in full unity with your soul, you're your best friend. There's no strife. There's no you know, when you do everything through increased effort, that's not the same as just devotion that is in flow. It just falls off. And these expectations and the running that everybody's describing, and the runner syndrome and this and that, when you are in your wholeness, you don't need that experience of the runner or anything else. You don't need it. And if you already whole, then you got to trust that the counterpart that it's coming for you, if they're coming in the physical, then they will be as whole as you are, because they're always reflecting the state of their awareness. It's a one awareness. You know, it's not like it's another soul. It is your soul, so it's the same awareness integration. And when you drop the need, when you're like blank piece of paper, just totally surrender to the experience and to your service, then maybe along your journey one day you'll be surprised. But it will still be only focused on the service aspect of you. It's not like what you can romanticize about it, and that you share, that you personally benefit from it. And these partnerships are about what can we co-create together. What are we going to bring to this world that will be totally unique, that wasn't here before, because we're both living from our creative state of being, from our creator incarnate. Okay? So for all my beloved volunteers out there, don't just fall for these ego traps that say, oh, you know, I want to have this confirmed by this reader or this psychic, whatever they're saying. You know, when you're in the path of the physical ascension on one level, you know, this no longer serves you, and you just got to surrender it. You say, I don't need this anymore. Oh, you know, it's just old. I really don't need it. Maybe, you know, it served me, because just today this person told me about something, and they said, well, what did this serve me for, you know, from this person? And I said, it still served you. It's not a good or bad kind of thing. It triggered you to go deeper within. And every time that we've fell a bit astray, you know, from this line, we had the trigger that pushes right back into it. Because we're always there anyway. We're always in unity with our soul. It's just the matter when we bring awareness to it, and then we start embodiment process. So, my beloved volunteers out there, do know that the purpose comes first. And the more you will start loving yourself from that space of why you're here and making peace with it, because a lot of the clients in Dolores' books are like, oh, I'm sad, this is no longer my home, blah, blah, blah. And at a certain point, when you're walking the path of physical ascension, you got to surrender that as well, because you're always home. You're here, you're right here. You know, I had this moment when I was hiking yesterday, the last day of the 2 days, and all of a sudden, like this, like switch. I was like, oh, I miss home. I got homesick. Like, it never happens to me. I'm a free spirit. I live everywhere. My energy lives everywhere, especially in the mountains. And I felt, oh gosh, I really want to return home. I remember the quote from the movie Into the Wild, you know, when the guy who went into the wild all by himself, he wrote, happiness is only real when shared. Yeah, and a lot of the physical component of earthly living has to deal with sharing with others. Of course, through unity, no longer through attachment. That's what I'm saying. But I just felt, oh, you know, it's not like I have to constantly be there in the mountains. I'm always home. But it's also important in our vessel, when you're at peace with yourself, that you know that the purpose comes first. And the purpose will be when you're in alignment with your heart's desire. So when your heart says, oh, shift, go home, you know, you're flowing, you're always flowing, then you're always creating happiness, because happiness is only the outer reflection of your inner state. So you'll be feeling this total surrender, no lack of it. And because you did listen to yourself, you did follow the highest guidance, you know, feel you're in resonance, you're in magic, you're in bliss, you know, in the joy vibration. And this keeps creating forth and pushing you forward. And this is what we're doing in this path of physical ascension, because we're recreating experiences. And this blank leaf kind of state is, for example, for me it felt something like, yesterday I was thinking, oh, all these summers up until now, I had someone coming into my life, either a partner or this friend, or always I had this busy, active summer through another person coming into my life. And now I feel, oh, now it's just me. But I felt such peace with it, because I finally felt I'm whole. It's me. It's my summer. It's my energy. It's what I'm creating for myself. And if there's a partner coming, they will come in divine timing. It doesn't even matter, because I'm about the purpose. It's about remembrance, why I'm here, and then totally activating this through my inner stargates. You know, merging as one with the outer stargates. So the inner universe, the universe, this is what we're really activating now, and this is what's driving us first, not the attachment, not this ego that has this desire. That's not the heart desire. You know, the heart desire doesn't need to be intended upon, like I intend this and this and that, and I wish to manifest this and this and that, because the heart desire never shifts anyway. It's just there, you know, like the fire that's constantly flowing through your inner creative self. It's constantly flowing. You know, this is so simple. It's so natural. You don't need to intend upon it. Like you're going to forget about it. You cannot forget about it. It's there. It's a part of you, because it is you. You're one with it. It's not an external thing. You know, it's not a desire of the ego that we do create as this external thing. So when I realized, when I went inwards yesterday and I was asking myself these questions, how does it feel? Okay, I am alone right now. It's of course just the now, because we can only speak about the now. And how does it feel in comparison to other? It felt like a totally, completely different new life for myself. You know, we had many reincarnations during just one lifetime now. This is the path of physical ascension. We're constantly shedding the skin and recreating ourselves. And it felt, ooh, so freeing. It's me. I can create anything. I am the master of my experience. And it feels like I no longer need these fragments coming through other people as messages so that I can embody them towards my wholeness, because I'm there. I'm there. That's it. And from this point on, it's just cut. Whatever comes next, it's a part of the mystery. That was my message to that. That is where I really wish to reverberate out from my heart center, from my heart space to all of yours. I love you all so much. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon, because I have so many things coming through me right now. So stay connected. Frequent updates here on my YouTube and my blog, and of course the webpage. So take care. Bye.